Take. Hey everyone, today, we re-diving into Europe by talking about one of the most essential distinctions, the differences between Latin, Germanic and Slavic peoples. You might be thinking, aren't those just ancient ethnic groups from way back? Actually, no, these divisions are directly tied to the roots of modern European cultures and national personalities. Think about it. Why Italians often seem so passionate and expressive? Why Germans are famously punctual and precise? Or why Russians tend to come across as deeply philosophical? There's a reason for all of it, and it traces back here. Today, I'll break down those broad stereotypes a bit. Explain the historical and cultural reasons behind them in an easy-to-follow way. Let's jump right in. Chapter 1. Let us start with a simple breakdown. First things first, where exactly do these three groups live? Basically, these three categories roughly divide Europe into three big zones, based mainly on language, families, and cultural traditions. Latin Romance peoples are concentrated in southern Europe, mainly Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, and if we stretch it a bit, Romania too. They speak languages descended from Latin, hence the name Germanic peoples, live in northern and central Europe. Germany, the UK, the Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands, Austria, and so on. They use Germanic languages. Slavic peoples dominate Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Czechia, Serbia, Bulgaria, and several others speak Slavic languages and historically were heavily shaped by the Byzantine Empire and Eastern Orthodox Christianity. So that's the rough map. Next, let us zoom in on what makes each group unique, because it's these differences that make the whole continent so fascinating. Chapter 2. What are Latin Romance peoples like? Let's kick things off with the Latins. The name alone probably brings up images of passion, romance, and liveliness, right? Italians, Spaniards, French people, they all fall into this group. But where does that vibe actually come from? It starts with the ancient Romans on the Italian peninsula, the same ones who built the massive Roman Empire. The term Latin actually comes from Latium, the region around and including ancient Rome, the language they spoke. Latin, the famous dead language that spread across Europe during the empire's peak. Even though Latin itself isn't spoken anymore, it gave birth to the Romance languages we know today: French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian. That's why they're called Romance languages. Latin is basically their common ancestor, appearance-wise. People often describe typical Latin looks as olive-toned skin, dark hair, and large, expressive dark brown eyes. Interestingly, there's also some genetic influence from the Mediterranean, Middle East, and North Africa, especially noticeable in southern Italy, Sicily, or southern Iberia, where strong sunshine has favored tanned, healthy-looking skin for centuries. 2. It's a different kind of attractiveness compared to Germanic or Slavic features. Religion is another big piece. Catholicism dominates in most Latin regions. The Vatican is right in Italy, and countries like Spain, France, and Portugal have historically been strongly Catholic. But it's not just looks or faith, there's a cultural personality too. Latins are stereotyped with good reason as super passionate, especially about love, food, and life in general. Italians talk with their hands non-stops. Sometimes it feels like words alone aren't enough. Spanish, flamenco, Portuguese, photo both are bursting with raw emotion. They really know how to enjoy life. Maybe it's because their cultures have always chased beauty. Historically, they've led in art. Think Italian Renaissance masters like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, Galileo's science, Spanish architecture, French impressionists like Monet. Their creativity is off the charts. It's like there's a built-in drive to make everything more beautiful: art, music, food, architecture. In short, Latins are masters at savoring the moment. Great meals, soulful music, heartfelt romance. Boat. A lot of people can relate to that lifestyle, right? Chapter 3. What about Germanic peoples? Next up, Germanic groups. Think Germans, Brits, Scandinavians. If I had to pick one word, it would be efficiency and order. Feels like the total opposite of the Latin vibe, doesn't it? Their roots lie in what's now Germany, Scandinavia, and nearby areas. These are the classic Germanic tribes that gave the Roman Empire huge headaches. In fact, the fall of the Western Roman Empire is often linked to Germanic invasions. History class classic. To the Romans, they must have seemed like ultimate boss-level warriors. Physically, the stereotype is tall, sturdy builds, fair blonde hair, and blue eyes. Compared to the darker-haired, more compact Romans, these tall, light-haired newcomers probably looked like fighters from another world. Fun fact: some Roman women apparently found that blonde, blue-eyed look exotic and attractive. Many modern Germans, Brits, and Scandinavians still carry those traits. Mentally, they've long excelled at building stable systems. Think Frankish Kingdom, Holy Roman Empire, and so on. That talent for organization probably explains why modern Germans are so famously punctual and process-oriented. It's in the cultural DNA. Religion-wise, Protestantism became dominant in many Germanic areas after the 16th century Reformation. In Germany, the idea was personal responsibility, reading the Bible yourself. No need for heavy church, hierarchy, very rational and independent, which fits the Germanic mindset perfectly. But they're not all serious. They love a good celebration. To look at Oktoberfest when it's time to have fun, they go all in. Vote all. Germanic peoples tend to be practical, disciplined builders who value structure, yet still know how to enjoy themselves when the work is done. Sounds like solid leadership material, doesn't it? Chapter 4. Slavic peoples. Last but definitely not least, the Slavs. Once you learn about their history and culture, you realize they have a completely different depth compared to Latins or Germanics. Fun fact, they're actually the largest ethnic group in Europe. They mainly live in Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Czechia, Serbia, Bulgaria, etc. Their origins go back about 1,500 years to the vast plains of what's now Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, people who lived off farming and herding in tough conditions. That resilience and harmony with nature became a core trait. Over time, they split into West, East, and South Slavs.